Have you ever been in a situation when your professor asks you what is literature? Can we define literature objectively, or is it just what people choose to call literature? If you are interested in the world of literature, the very first thing you need to know is the definition of this framework you are going to enter. I'm quite sure that all the students of English literature around the world have been asked at least one time this question, what is literature, in their exams or in their classes. And there are tons of answers to this question by philosophers, literary critics, scholars, professors in the world, and they all may be correct in one way or another. Can we identify a general as well as complete definition for the word literature? This video is perhaps the final answer. Back to the etymology of the word literature, early scholars in Latin defines literature as anything written. But can we say philosophy, biology, mathematics, chemistry are all literature? No way. Some scholars also define it as imaginative writing, but this definition brings us to the conclusion that only fictional and imaginative works are considered literature, but we have writers such as Dickens, Austen, Hobbes, Webster, and Sertumus Moore, for example, that write realistic novels, realistic writing, so we can consider them also as literature. In order to define literature, we need to look at it from a different perspective, a Russian formalist perspective, for example. According to the precepts of Russian formalism, content is the motivation for form, and a literary work is the place where a number of devices are work within a system. Literariness is when these devices are perceived by the reader, and the effect these devices have defamiliarizes what was familiar for the reader. To put it simply, literature changes the established perceptions of the reader, and its language deviates from the normal language spoken by the readers. So according to Russian formalists, literature says things in an unfamiliar way, making it hard for the reader to understand the text. The question is why literature does that. Such an experience by the reader is supposed to stop him and force him to look at the world from a different perspective and change his worldview and also change the world in a very broad sense. The unfamiliar language and the complexity of the text is not the only things that constitute literature. Literature is far more than that. The understanding of what is abnormal highly depends on the reader's definition of what is normal, and this is very obvious that this depends highly on the reader's culture. Therefore, any person has his or her own vision of literature based on the context he or she lives in. So what is literary and what is not literary is subjective according to reader's time and place, or culture, let's say. To quote Terry Eagleton, literature does not exist as a thing, but it is constituted through value judgments, and these value judgments themselves are related to social ideologies. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are tons of answers to this question, what is literature? And the reason is because the answer is personal. So everyone has his or her own definition of the word literature, but these definitions must include 4 specific features to be valued. 1. The language is complex and defamiliarized. 2. The readers find it abnormal to their own specific normality. 3. Literary text is influential and it teaches and it delights the readers to change their worldview and the world in general. 4. Literature deals with life experiences both in fictional or imaginative and factual ways. Now that we come to the final part of the video, it is worth mentioning that having literature in mind, and in order to define it more completely, we need to refer to the elements that constitute literature. I mean, the concept of the reader, the concept of the author, the concept of the text itself, and hopefully I will discuss these elements and these notions in the next videos of this new channel. If you are interested in topics related to reading, literature, literary criticism, and so on, hit that subscribe button to watch my future videos on this channel, on this new channel, and like this post if you think it adds value. Take care.